What is up, you guys? It is Dylan with Carnage Outdoor, back with another video. Unfortunately, I did not record an intro for this video like I planned to because I got stung by a scorpion fish. And let me tell you, that is one of the worst feelings that you can have in your life. The pain is terrible. You feel it's hard to describe the pain to anyone who hasn't felt it, but the way I would describe it is like picking up a hot plate after breaking your finger and not being able to let it go. It's like burning, tingling, numb, throbbing pain. It's terrible. So I wasn't able to record an intro. I had to actually go to the ER. I talked to a doctor. I wasn't gonna go, but he told me that it would be a good idea. I need to get a tetanus shot. I need to get antibiotics. So I went and did that. So I'm all good now. The pain's going down a lot. It's still a little bit swollen. I don't know if you can really see, but there's was the first spine got in here, and then up here somewhere I got stung again. There's a little mark right there. So yeah, I'm doing a lot better now. It blew up like a balloon right after, but it turned all red. My knuckle on the back of my other finger was red for some reason. I don't really know how that happened, but probably just swelling in the area. But it's all pretty much better now. I mean, I still have pain. I still have a little bit of swelling, but it's doing a lot better. Um, but today's video, we went out. We did some lobster diving. We caught 13 lobster, 2 slippers. So we had a decent day. It's probably the first time I didn't limit on lobsters in about 2 years. But that was just because our day got cut short by a lot. We left really late. I don't think we started diving until 2. And then we got out of the water early because I got stung by the scorpion fish at about 5. So we got maybe 3 hours of diving, which usually when I go out, I'll go out from like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. But, it was just a fun day. We went out, a couple friends, caught some lobsters, had a good time, saw some cool stuff. Tons of short lobsters out there right now. We probably caught 100 lobster yesterday. 13 keepers out of the 100, so one out of maybe every 10 was a keeper. But it's at the end of the season. Usually the smaller ones are around right now, and once we get back into the mini season in July, August, we'll start seeing some bigger ones show up again. But we had a good time, got some good footage, saw some really cool stuff. So check it out. So this is the first dive of the day. I'm actually in the boat during this dive, but TJ's down there and Christian's down there, and I don't think they caught any keepers on this dive. There's a lot of shorts today, a lot of shorts in this area especially. But you'll see throughout the video, me, TJ, and Christian all dive a little differently, which shows there's not really one specific way to do this. There's a lot of different ways you can do this, and they all work well. Just find what works for you. TJ's using a looper and a net. Christian uses a tickle stick and a net, and I like to use just a looper. Usually I'll carry a spear gun with me too, but there's really nothing open right now to spear, so I didn't bring it with me today. So as you can see here, TJ likes to use the looper and the net, and he uses the looper as like a bigger tickle stick, which I think is a good idea. And he tends to catch a lot of lobster. I don't know if he catches more than me or just as much or what it is, but he catches a lot, and he really knows what he's doing here. He's got this really dialed in. But it's a really interesting way to do it. I've never really seen anybody else do it this way, but it seems to work for him. He uses the looper, he gets behind it, and he pushes it forward into his net. And then I guess if he can't move it from out of the rock, then he'll use just the looper. It's pretty efficient, really good way to do it. But one thing that I think happened a lot on this day is I think we let go a lot of keeper lobsters, and I think that's because on TJ's looper and on Christian's tickle stick, the gauges that they had were not commercial gauges. They were the recreational gauges. And the ones that they make commercially are exactly perfectly sized for a legal lobster, recreationally or commercially. There's no difference in the size. But the ones that they make for recreational divers, they make them just a little bit bigger. So when you catch a keeper lobster, you let it go if it's just a little bit over or a little bit over keeper. So I like to buy the commercial gauges because I really know how to measure lobster well, and we all do, but we still have some of the recreational ones. I just need to get rid of them so we don't really have this problem again. But we still caught a lot of lobster, and I can't really complain. 13 lobster and 2 slippers, it's more than enough for us to eat. So this is a little clip from me and TJ's dive coming up. Missed a lot of the footage on this one because TJ was wearing the GoPro, and I ended up catching like 11 of the 13 lobsters, including slippers, on this dive. Just got unlucky there. We still got them. That's all that matters. Got a little bag dump coming up. All right, so we just did our first dive. Got a couple. Not the best dive, but you know, it's March, so there's not a lot around. We got what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and 2 slippers, which these things are super rare, so I'm happy we caught these. These things are sick. They're really strong. You get your hand like to grab, they grab it like this. They're not letting go. I'm pulling against them as hard as I can right now, and I can't move my hand. But pretty cool. Gonna get some ice on them and should be ready to go. So this right here is a red grouper, and it's always good to see these things because their population was getting hurt pretty bad down by us. But it seems like they've come back a lot in the past like 2 or 3 years, so it's always good to see these things. Saw a couple more today too. In this area here that we're diving, it can be really, really tough to catch these lobsters because we call it Swiss cheese rocks, which is it's like a ledge, and there's a bunch of little holes at the top, and you have to work through those little holes to try to catch the lobsters. Lobsters love the area, but I hate it because it's really tough to catch them. This particular day, they were really stacked up in there, so we had to dive where the lobsters were. But if you're not really on the brownie, if you're free diving this kind of stuff, if you're not really that experienced, it can be really, really tough to catch them. We kind of have a system where we work together and push them to each other and get them to stick out from one of the holes and get them from behind. But it can be really tough. There was a lot here, and this area was pretty stacked up today. Kind of, I think this was between Pompano Pier and Lauderdale by the Sea, about 15 feet of water. That's kind of where we do most of our diving is in that area. Sometimes we'll push a little south. Today we didn't want to push too far south just because it was rough and didn't want to bang the boat up a lot. But yeah, I think we ended up catching 4 keepers and not that long of a dive here. Got cut short because of the scorpion fish. But as you can see here, I'm working this little hole, trying to find a way to get behind this lobster. Pretty tough little spot he's in. Trying to find out where his tail's laying, trying to see where he could go if I push him the wrong way, trying to get him to come out more towards me. But I was able to figure him out and got behind him and got it done. He ended up being a little bit short, so we had to let him go, unfortunately. But hopefully we'll see him in July and he'll be a little bit bigger. So for this lobster here, I found that there was no way to catch him with the looper. You would have just been going back and forth. I couldn't get the right angle with it. But when I looked in the hole, I saw that he had nowhere to go. He was backed up into a corner, and I saw that if I reached my hand in there, I could grab him. So that's exactly what I did. I wouldn't recommend ever doing that if you're free diving or if you don't check the hole before you look in. Tons of stuff down there that can hurt you. There's morays, there's urchins, there's scorpion fish, as I found out today. But If you're free diving, I really don't recommend doing it. I tried doing it. I've done it before, but one time when I did it, I stuck my hand in there, grabbed the lobster, and he turned, and I couldn't get him out, and I couldn't get my hand out, and I almost drowned because of it. So, unless you're on the brownie and or got tanks, I would definitely not recommend ever sticking your hand into a hole to grab a lobster. So as soon as I catch that other one, I see this one not too far away, so I swim right over to him. Looks pretty easy to catch. He's kind of sticking out of that rock. He's got his antenna sticking out. You can see that I can get behind him really easily. So I poke him out from the rock a little bit, try to get the looper behind him. He doesn't let me get the first swing at him, but I stick it behind him again. Put the looper right behind him, walks right into it, and I catch this one too. So this is a perfect example why I really like to use the looper instead of the tickle stick in the net. As you can see, this thing is way back under that ledge, and there's no way you could touch him with a tickle stick. He's got to be 4 or 5 feet back there. But with this looper, it's pretty long. You can reach it all the way back there, get it right behind him, start walking him towards you, and close it up on him. So this is another red grouper that we happen to run across, and I really wanted to include this in the video because I thought this was pretty cool. He was way up in the water column, which is really weird for these things. Usually they're sitting right on the bottom. And he had something huge like he had just eaten, and I think it was a turtle. I think it was either a turtle or a triggerfish, but the way he was way up in the water column like that, I think it could have been a turtle. So I tend to find a lot of lobster and stuff like this, like these little coral heads where there's a little space for them to hide under. This one, again, I stuck my hand in. Don't do that at home unless you're very experienced. But as soon as I catch this lobster, we measure him. He's short, so we have to let him go. And I posted this video on my Instagram. This red grouper, this is the third one we saw this day, which is great. Really dumb fish are really easy to hurt their populations, but I'm glad to see them coming back. This guy was hungry, and the last one, I think he ate a turtle. This one was definitely trying to eat that whole lobster, and I don't know if he was big enough to do it. I couldn't catch up to them. They swam really, really fast away. I would like to think that he caught it. I never saw the grouper again after I swam that whole direction the rest of the day and didn't see it. So this is the next rock right after I caught that last one by the grouper. Pretty easy to catch him. Same kind of rock as the last one, those little coral heads where they like to get that little bit of space. Stick the looper in there, get it around his tail, really easy catch. Pull him out quick. Right here, get him out. Measure him up, see that he's legal, and put him in the bag and move on to the next one. So here's a little clip of Christian netting one up. Just goes to show there's not one way of doing it. It's all about personal preference, just what you like doing. He likes the net, I like the looper. Both work. So this is the second to last lobster of the trip that we caught. The last one I didn't get on video because it happened after I got stung by the scorpion fish. I was swimming back over to Christian and saw him real quick and saw that he had nowhere to go, so I just grabbed him and threw him in the bag. But I was able to get behind this one pretty easily and catch him real quick. But that should be all from down below. Thanks for watching.
So I just got stung by stonefish on my hand. I put my hand down on a rock and the rock moved, and that is not what you want to feel. So my hand is throbbing really bad right now. You can't really see, it's not swollen or anything, but that's pretty bad pain. So we'll see. I don't think I have to go to the hospital or anything. I might try to keep diving, but not a good way to go out for the day. So this is our end of the second dive. We didn't dive that long, but we probably got to call it a day just so we could clean the boat in the light, and probably got to get home with my hand after getting stabbed by that thing. My hand feels like all tingly. There's like electricity. I can feel it in my fingers. My joints are hurting really bad, so I probably need to get home. But I don't know. It's been about 30 minutes since I got stung, and it's getting red. I can feel it's getting hot, swelling up. I don't know. I don't know if I have to go to a doctor or not, but it hurts.
All right, so I just got picked up in the inlet. I talked to my doctor and he said to go to the ER and get it checked out. It's, I don't know if you can tell, but it's pretty swollen. You can see the little mark from where it went in initially. But I'm in a lot of pain right now. It feels hot. It's like can't bend my finger at all. But we'll see. Shouldn't be too bad. Probably give me like antibiotics, tetanus shot, some pain meds, and I'll be fine. So this right here is what a scorpion fish looks like, which is the fish that stung me. Originally in the video I said it was a rockfish, but it was actually a scorpion fish. When you see these things out in the wild, they blend in really well with the rocks. They're very camouflaged. And when you approach them as a defense mechanism, they don't move. They just flare up their dorsal fins that have the venom in them. And if you're not paying attention like I wasn't, and you put your hand down, they'll stick you really good, and it's really, really painful. So they ended up sending me home from the ER about 2 hours after getting there. They gave me antibiotics, they gave me a tetanus shot, monitored me for a little bit, made sure I was stable, and then said I was good to go home. But if you like content like this, be sure to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.